We are aging, and it's inevitable. Around the age of 30, our bodies begin slowing down. This means people typically start experiencing weight gain, low energy, and decreased stamina, to name a few. Human growth hormone, or HGH, is a highly studied, well-documented hormone, and as a person ages, the amount of HGH that their body produces declines. So what can be done? At New You Life, our goal is to help you attain optimal health with quality and innovation working at the cellular level, which is why we bring you Somaderm Gel, a cutting-edge scientific breakthrough utilizing the power of HGH. Somaderm Gel should always be applied to the thin areas of the skin. This ensures that the gel will be transported directly to the bloodstream. Why should you try Somaderm Gel? When taking hormones orally, pills and sprays lose a majority of their potency in the mouth and gut, rendering those products ineffective. And injectable forms of HGH are not only invasive and expensive, but they have the potential to cause serious side effects. Luckily, Somaderm Gel is a low-dose, transdermal form which has been formulated to slowly elevate HGH levels in the body. Don't accept the symptoms of aging. Regain your youth with the only transdermal OTC human growth hormone product available, Somaderm Gel, the ageless standard.
Okay, every once in a while, a really special company comes along. A company that just creates a combination of product and business that gets everyone's attention. And the purpose of this call is to tell you about a company who has accomplished exactly that. And those of us that are fortunate enough to learn about this, especially this early in the game, have, in my opinion, absolutely hit the jackpot. And I'm talking, ladies and gentlemen, about New You Life and their breakthrough product, Somaderm HGH Gel. So let's talk about what all this means to you and me. Not only can this amazing product greatly improve one's overall health, and it is doing just that for so many people, but there's also a very lucrative business model wrapped around this product that's enabling people to earn life-changing residual incomes, and in record time. Now, in a few minutes, I'm going to introduce you to Dr. Dave Carpenter, who's going to tell you more about this incredible FDA-registered product and why it's so important to our overall well-being. But first, let's discuss a few facts and figures. In 2015, the sales numbers for HGH were about $143 billion. That's billion with a B. That number is expected to increase to more than $204 billion by the year 2020. Now, how would you all like to have a little piece of that action? I know I certainly would. So let's take a look at what's been happening here with New You Life in these last several months. Alex Goldstein, founder of New You Life, can only be described as a product formulator extraordinaire. His companies have been formulating and manufacturing over 600 health products for nearly 20 years. In 2004, Alex Goldstein formulated his first version of this HGH gel. He sold the product primarily to athletes through retail stores in the California area. He quickly had in excess of 10,000 happy customers on this gel, and they were not getting off of it. The results they were experiencing were astonishing. And well over 90% of his customers continue to purchase this gel month after month. Now, fast forward. In September of 2017, Alex received final approval from the FDA to manufacture an unlimited amount of the Somaderm Gel and was also given a national drug code number for this homeopathic gel. Ladies and gentlemen, that is unheard of. Non-drug products don't usually get NDC numbers assigned. However, the FDA was so impressed with the history and the results of this gel that they did indeed issue one number for the product. So a few months later, in December of 2017, Alex then transitioned the sale of the gel from the conventional marketing to network marketing. People just like I began using and sharing the Somaderm gel and began to realize the same astonishing results, not to mention astonishing incomes. So what do you think happened then? Well, by February of 2018, the number of new ULife associates tripled. This repeated in March of 2018 and once again in April. By the fifth month in business, New ULife was doing over $1 million a week in sales of the Somaderm gel. So in the first week of May, the company had again tripled in growth, and they decided at that time to put a temporary stop on that new growth while the manufacturing got caught up and geared up for additional growth that they were expecting. Company also ramped up customer support, additional merchant account capacity, additional corporate leadership. They moved into a beautiful new 10,000 square foot office building. And what do you think during this little intermission? The company has more than tripled in size in 2.5 months. And oh, by the way, as of right now, that little intermission has ended. So what is about to take place will indeed be history-making. Now, what does this mean for you and me? It means that we are in the right place at the right time because something truly extraordinary is taking place. And we're going to elaborate a little bit more on that and exactly what it means for you and me at the end of the call. So definitely stay tuned. But right now, as promised, I'd like to introduce a very special guy who's also a very dear friend. Dr. Dave Carpenter is a world-renowned naturopath MD. He has spoken on a variety of health subjects at more than 100 conventions in more than 19 countries around the world, and I could go on and on and on about his credentials. Let me just say that he has extensive knowledge and an extensive background in HGH and its many, many health benefits. So Dr. Dave Carpenter, could you please come on in and tell our audience, please, why this amazing product is literally turning back the clock for those that are using it. Good evening.
Good evening, Jeannie. Thank you so much for the kind introduction and for the opportunity to share tonight. I really appreciate it. HGH, human growth hormone, is one of my favorite subjects, and I think I can explain why in the next few minutes. First of all, I'd like to take a 30,000-foot view, if I might, and just kind of help people understand really why they want to increase their growth hormone levels. And to do that, let me just use an example. If you had two people who had an accident and both of them had the same exact injuries and the same severity of injuries, the only difference is one is 16 years old and one is 60 years old. The question is, which one would you bet on if you had to bet of those two people, a 60-year-old and a 16-year-old, same identical injuries, which one's going to heal the fastest from those injuries? And when I ask people that question, they always say the 16-year-old will heal faster. Nobody questions that. Now, my next question is this. Why does the 16-year-old heal faster? The answers vary. There's probably as many answers as there are people. But here's the real thing I want you to understand. In a 16-year-old, human growth hormone levels are optimum. And from age 20 all the way up into your 40s, you drop 85% in your production of human growth hormone. It continues to drop about 2% every single year of age thereafter. Why is that such a big deal? Well, let me explain. Human growth hormone is often called the master hormone of the body. Well, what are hormones and what do they do? Hormones are basically chemical messengers made by glands, which are simply specialized cells in the body, and they're made to communicate. Your body has over 100 trillion cells, individual cells, that it has to communicate with. Imagine how complicated that would be. That's way more cells in one human body than all of the people on the planet of Earth, many times. So we have to have an efficient system of communication to give instructions to those individual cells. It doesn't matter whether they're heart cells or muscle cells or brain cells or eye cells or fingernail cells or hair cells. It doesn't matter. They all need instructions in order to do their job properly. As that communication starts to break down as a result of that master hormone dropping off, they become less and less and less efficient. And it's that drop in efficiency that we attribute to old age. What if there were a way that we could bring your HGH levels back up to optimum safely and affordably, and then you could start healing as well as you used to do when you were much younger? You could recover from exercise faster. You could sleep better. I mean, think about sleep in itself. It's the old people that have a hard time sleeping, not the young people. The young people can sleep through everything. It's just amazing to me, the difference. And so let's talk a little bit about some of those things that happen as we start to drop in human growth hormone levels that happen to almost all of us. And you may have not all of these, but I'm betting you if you're over the age of 35 or 40, you have at least some of these on your list. For example, we see a disturbance in the sleep cycle. And again, that's regulated by some other hormones, including melatonin and serotonin, but they respond to human growth hormone, the conductor of the hormone orchestra. So you start seeing less sleep or more interrupted sleep. You start seeing less vivid dreams, which means you're not getting as much REM sleep. You start to see that visceral fat that accumulates around the middle, and no matter how many sit-ups you do, it doesn't go away. It's not that you're not working out as much as you used to. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. But you can work out as much as you want and still fight that visceral fat that accumulates because it's not there because you're not doing enough sit-ups. It's there because of that drop in HGH. You start to notice your hair thinning. You start noticing your skin gets thinner and it starts to wrinkle. And that's caused mainly because your body is making less hyaluronic acid, which is a molecule that cells make to hang on to water. As HGH communication breaks down, your cells don't make as much HA or hyaluronic acid, doesn't hold on to as much water. I remember many times doing presentations where people said to me, "Doc, I drink all kinds of water every day. I drink even as much as an ounce per pound of body weight. I'm still getting wrinkles. Why is that?" It's that drop in hyaluronic acid, which basically in your cell means that you're not hanging on to the water. It's like having holes in the bottom of your glass. You can't keep the water in the glass, or in this case, the cell. Here's some other things that start to happen as human growth hormone levels drop off. Bone loss, temperature irregularities in the body, a loss of muscle density and muscle mass as we age, and it's harder and harder to build muscle again. We start seeing blood sugar issues develop. We start seeing cramping in the hands and the feet. Sexual desire and sexual performance becomes more and more difficult. Men start experiencing enlarged prostates, which cause them to get up multiple times throughout the night. Again, contributing to the sleep cycle and deprivation problem. You start seeing people with lower energy and lower endurance. So even if they get started on something, they can't do it as long as they used to be able to. And then there's the brain fog and the memory problems. Well, as you can see, all of these things are things that a lot of people attribute to old age. And what I'm telling you is there are over 30,000 peer-reviewed articles and studies showing the benefits of increasing human growth hormone, and all of these things are mentioned as benefits. You'll see them turn around. You'll see them improving. What we have here is in Somaderm gel is a homeopathic gel that safely and gently helps the body make more human growth hormone. It's manufactured and available, by the way, only through the company New You Life that Jeannie talked about. And, you know, when I say homeopathic gel, a lot of people question me and say, what does that mean? Well, homeopathy is really just a medical system that's based on the fundamental belief that the body can cure itself. Those who practice it use tiny amounts of natural substances like plants or minerals to optimize the health and body functions. This product, as Jeannie mentioned, has been available for over 14 years. People try it, they use it, they experience it, and they don't want to go away from it. They won't stop using it because of the massive benefits they're getting. And I will tell you this, the longer you use it, the more benefits you'll experience. So with that, just know that we have something that can really help people that you love and care about. And in the process of helping those people, you can help yourself as well. What a blessing it is to be able to help people improve the quality of their life and get paid for it. So with that, I'm going to turn the call back to you, Jeannie. Thank you so much, my friend.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Carpenter. It's always just, the information that you share about this, the knowledge that you have. It's no wonder people cannot wait to get it in their hands, in their bodies, after listening to you and all the wonderful health benefits. So thank you for always being there to share that information. And I know that your mission is always to help people. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you, Brooke. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned earlier in the call, about what's been going on here and what exactly does this mean for you and me. So, as I said, right place, right time like never before. So to tie all of this together, I'd like to bring on a gentleman who certainly has been around the block. He has had a tremendous amount of success in not only traditional business, but certainly tremendous success in the sales and marketing arena. He knows what's what out there, and he knows how to identify something that is real and something that is definitely not to be missed. And that's why he's on board here with New Year Life. And as I said, he's going to tie all this together for you. And so, Mr. Ben Kane, could you please come out? Tell everybody what you see here for all of us.
Well, I will, and thanks so much for having me on the call here, Jeannie.
Mm-hmm.
And great hearing your voice. And I love to listen to Dr. Dave. I mean, every time I listen, even though it says the same thing sometimes, from one call to the next, you miss little pieces that you pick up the more that you listen. And I'm always intrigued listening to him. And I'm very excited to be a part of the team and a part of the company right now. And I think we're all in a really special place at a moment in time. My story for everybody is, look, my background was franchising for over 20 some odd years. And I've been in direct sales network marketing. I had about 20 years experience there. And I've had other conventional businesses. So from that, you can tell I'm an old guy. I'm 70 years old, but I feel like I'm 40. I have that energy level God gave me. I don't know why I got it, but I have it. And, I've been out of the industry, though, this network marketing, for about a decade. And that time that I was out of the industry, I did other things, but I always missed the fun that we had when we built large teams and helping other people to have success. But nothing that I saw in the marketplace made any sense to me. I just couldn't find anything that made any sense at all. It's always Me Too products. Everything's the same. I got a call. I was on a road trip across the country with my wife, Sunny, and our daughter, Jordan. And we got a call from Ken Burgess, who's my sponsor. And I've known Ken for a long, long time. And he's always tried to market something to me. And I've tried to pitch him. And we never got together before, but we'd always try. And he calls me, and I said, Ken, just cut to the chase. What do you got? And he said, HGH. I said, not those pills. You see those pills that are out there. And, you got to fast for a couple hours before, take the pill, fast a couple hours after. And if anybody didn't know what that's like getting up in the morning first thing and taking a handful of vitamins and having them on an empty stomach. You know how wonderful that feels. I said, I don't see many people doing that. And from what I hear, that stuff takes forever. And I wouldn't be interested in that. And, I know there's a couple of other products out there. But I said, Ken, you don't know what, but I used to take the injections. I used to pay $2,500 a month for the injections with an $800 doctor visit to kick it off on top of that, plus about $500 every 90 days for blood tests. Now, I knew how good HGH was. And I used to tell my wife, I said, when I was getting those injections when we lived in California and we moved out of state, and after a while I wasn't able to get it, and I watched what happened to my body, the way it went backwards, is that I said, if they ever come out with a product with HGH, it was a real product in a direct sales company, I'd be all over that. And I used to tell her that time and time again. And then we got this call from Ken. Took me about 3 minutes. And I said, I'm all in. I signed up. And then I did like everybody else did. I got in line to wait for the product. Now, here I want you to understand, if you're listening to this call for the first time, you will not go through what we went through because the company's getting all caught up. But here's what happened. I had to wait 10 weeks to get my product. 10 weeks. And on top of that, they cut off the credit cards and said, you got to pay for this with, an ACH from your checking account with your routing number and your checking account number. And I thought to myself, in most cases, people would get turned off by that. And they would say, I'm not going to do this. And they'd walk away from it. I went the other way. I got excited because I know what HGH will do for your body. I took the injections. Nobody in the world is ever going to tell me what this won't do for you. But then if you listen to what Dr. Dave said there's been 30,000 different studies, articles, and whatever research done on the product over the last decades. And so there is zero question whether or not HGH will actually turn back the clock for you, help you to have your pituitary gland make more human growth hormones so that you really live younger, longer, as Sandy Burgess would say, which I love. Now, I decided I was going to go start building a team. Well, I watched some other people sit around and look and wonder what was going on. Well, I wasn't the only one that wasn't stupid. There was a lot of smart people because when I came on board, the company was only adding about 500 people a week. That went to 1,000 people a week, to 1,500 people, to 2,000, to 2,500, over 2,500 people every single week signing up to wait to get in line to get the product. Now, to me, that's the first clue. Why would people get in line to wait to get a product, have to use ACH, can't use my credit card, and I'm going to have to wait weeks, maybe months to get the product? What, are you kidding? I stop and you think about it, and all these people are doing it. Why? It's because of the testimonials. And there's not hundreds, there's thousands of testimonials on this product. And so people were climbing all over it. I got excited. I started recruiting as fast as I could, put everybody I could in to the system. Why? I don't want to be one of those people that somebody's calling me later that I should have called because they got in while I was thinking about it and wondering whether or not I wanted to make a move or not. And then I get these people calling me trying to pitch me these other deals. And I'm sure everybody out there, you get called and people trying to pitch you stuff all the time. And I very simply listen, and I listened, and I said to this guy on this one call, I said to him, hey, listen, can you just do this? Can you give me a 15-second elevator pitch? Tell me what the value proposition is for your product, for me as a customer. Forget the network marketing part. Just tell me about the products that you have to offer or the product, and what's that value proposition that I can get from you that I can't get somewhere else. And the guy goes off on a long tangent again. By the second or third time that he did it, it was taking him a couple of minutes to explain it to me. I said, don't time out. Just give me the 15-second elevator pitch on the product. And he got mad at me, and he says, well, what's your 15-second elevator pitch? I said, funny you should ask, and here it is. It's really simple. If there was a product that you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, beyond any question whatsoever, no doubt in your mind at all, but that it could turn the clock back and you could get 10, maybe even 20 years of better life, live younger, longer, would that be something you'd have an interest in? Yes or yes. And if you say no, I got to go is what I'm telling them. And that's what I tell everybody. Why? Because they're being insincere if they tell you that they wouldn't like to live younger, longer, and be able to turn the clock back for 10 to 20 years, depending upon the age they are when they start taking the product. And then all of a sudden, it's like the guy says, well, tell me about that product. And I did, and I reverse recruited him. Let me give you another one. Is that I was asking a guy the other day, what does he do? And I asked him 3 times. And then finally he tells me what he does, and he says, well, what do you do? And I said to him, funny you should ask again, but I gave him my 5-second elevator pitch. I sell time. You do what? Timeshare? I said, no, I sell time. I sell time. The only finite resource that you have in your life, the only finite resource that you have is the time that God gave you. You don't know how much time that is, but you do know that it's limited for every single one of us. And what we do is we actually are selling time and giving people an extra 5, 10, 15, 20 years, depending upon the age you are when they decide to start to get onto the gel. Now, what product can you think of right now in any direct sales company, any company at all, any single one of them out there, any company at all, that they have a product, any product at all, and ask them when they ask you, when they're trying to pitch you something, what product do you have that people would line up 3,000 people a week and piling on, waiting, 30 days, 60 days, in some cases before there was like 10, 12 weeks in order to be able to get a product, and that they can't even use their credit card to get it. And they said, well, none. I said, well, we do. And that's why this company is growing the way that it is. The company isn't even launched yet. It doesn't launch until September. It's going to launch in September. And I want you to think of it this way, is that in the month of September, based on where they are right now, based on the growth right now, that the company will sell in excess of 100,000 bottles of this product out the door for the month of September. At $150 wholesale on an average, that's $15 million in sales. Now, here's how powerful that really is. The fastest company in the history of network marketing ever to make it $10 million a month did it in their 10th month by doing $11 million in the 10th month after their launch. Here we are at New You Life, guys. The launch is until September, and in the month of September, the very first month of the launch, they're going to do 100,000 plus bottles, $15 million in sales just based on what's happening right now. Now, the reason it took a while for them to be able to get that product stockpiled to where they are now, where they're stockpiling it, where they're going to take the lid off of this, and it's going to go absolutely crazy, was because it took 14 weeks to ferment. Now they got it down to 12 weeks for the product to ferment. They don't have just one lab. They've got multiple labs working on it. They're not going to replace the merchant account with one. They've got multiple merchant accounts getting lined up to come on board. And what's going to happen when this company launches in September and the 100,000 bottles go out the door and we do $15 million in our first month after the launch, and with all the marketing tools, landing page funnel systems, autoresponders, and videos that they have coming, along with the events, along with the merchant accounts, along with the product being able to be shipped no matter how much we want to sell, they're going to be able to provide us that. In anticipation of doing 1 million bottles a month, 1 million bottles a month before the end of the year, 2019. You know what 1 million bottles a month would be? That'd be $150 million a month in sales. 1.7 billion a year will be the pace it will be on within 12 months of the official launch of this company. Now, I don't know about you, I get really excited because I didn't know I only got to get a little tiny piece of that. I know that I don't have to be that good. I know that I just get in, get active, run hard right now, share the information with everybody you know, use the videos, do three-way calls, get them to the events, get them on these calls, let them listen to this call after it's recorded if you didn't get them on here live, and share the information. And there is no question that every single person that does so, and if they stick with it and do a 90-day run and then do another 90-day run, I believe in a 6-month period, even if you're an amateur and never been in the business before, you can put enough in place where this company will be going into momentum, which is in momentum pretty much already in pre-launch, but it'll go into full-blown momentum. And when there's 1 million, 2 million, 3 million people have this product in the United States alone before they even go international, they're going to be people with checks from this company that are going to boggle the mind. And I'm not even going to say the kind of numbers, but I'm going to say this. They'll be as big, as fast as any company ever in the history of network marketing. And anyone who hears about this, you hear about this, and you don't climb on board, you hear about this, and you don't get in there and order a bottle, you hear about this, and you don't take action, remember what I'm about to say. You will regret it, and you will look back on it as one of the big mistakes of your life, not making a run with the only product that really is, the product that can turn back the hands of time. It really is the fountain of youth, and the only place you can get it is here at New You Life. I don't know about you guys, but I am excited, and I am going to run, and I am doing my 90-day run, 2 of them back to back, and then we'll pick our head up and look around and see where we're at that time. I'm excited, Jeannie. Back to you.
I can tell you're excited. Oh, Ben, it's always a pleasure to listen to you. You do get us all revved up. Thank you so much for that. And ladies and gentlemen, there's not much more to say. You heard it here. This company is going to make history, and you know what? The jury is not out.